Today we are going to be going to a museum dedicated to making illegal whiskey.
This morning we are waking up in the little township of Gore, which has a little bit of an identity crisis. It's the capital of everything. It is the New Zealand capital of country music because every June it hosts the Gold Guitar Awards, which is massive here in New Zealand and even includes a line dancing competition. But Gore is also known as the brown trout fishing capital of the world. That's a pretty mouthful, but it bears a massive brown trout statue right at the entrance of the town, telling everybody about what it's known for.
So we just arrived in Gore and we are going to check out a lot of places. We're going to check that one over there, which is the art gallery. We're going to check that one over there, which is the Moonshine Museum for illicit whiskey. But first thing first, I am running toward the family store and then the hospice shop over there, because I'm a big sucker for good bargain and old ball game. This is really sad, but I did not find anything at the Salvation Army family store.
On the way we noticed a massive clock tower.
Commissioned in 1906, the clock operated until 1945 when the tower was considered an earthquake risk and was demolished.
The main attraction of today is hidden within the Gore Information Centre. We're going to the Hokonui Moonshine Museum, which is super cheap to get in at only $5.
Join us on a journey back in time to Scotland and the origins of the Hokonui Moonshine legend.
Let's go.
Let's go.
First we learn about the Scottish heritage.
They brewed a drink long sign, eh? I don't know that word. Long sign was sweeter far than honey, was stronger far than wine.
And that was the voice of the Kirk.
This part of the museum goes how whiskey was first made in Scotland and brought to New Zealand during the 1800s during the mass migration.
What is this thing, a merman? He looks like he's enjoying himself there.
And the entire room makes us feel drunk.
Naked lady, bottle of whiskey. This is my place.
Anyway, moving on, we are now heading towards this mock-up of one of the 15 hotels that used to serve alcohol in the Gore and Hokonui area. And by the way, the Hokonui area refers to the Hokonui Hills that surround the city of Gore. And it's the Hokonui Hills that people used to go and hide and illegally distill their whiskey.
And it is no surprise to anyone that the first people that came to the area and distilled illegally some whiskey were actually Scottish. While playing bartender and drunk patrons in the fake bar, we learned about the story of Mary McRae, or McRae, whatever her Scottish name was, that came to New Zealand with only as luggage an entire distilling kit packed. That's really how Scottish travel, right? Their carry-on is just full of alcohol. And so she came in the area and started distilling alcohol, and nobody suspected her because obviously no one back in the days would suspect a lady to be out distilling illegally some whiskey in the Hokonui ranges. After a short section displaying a lot of posters from the Prohibition era, which led to heaps of strikes, especially from women workers, we are moving on to a section which displays how did people distill moonshine in the Hokonui ranges. It looks really like a nightmare, a hellhole. It looks really hot and dusty, and it really doesn't look like it's worth it to actually spend that much time sweating over an oven just to get a few drips of whiskey. On top of that, the whole process was extremely dangerous, from the imminent fire of the boiling alcohol to the cops running around the Hokonui ranges catching distillers and sentencing them to up to 6 months in jail. It was really a cat and mouse game filled with action-packed news headlines. We see so many of the newspapers back in the days which were having massive striking headlines.
The Gore Information Centre actually hides another little museum here called the Gore Historical Museum, which has all the artifacts from back in the day during the pioneering days. But as all museums should end, we get a free shot of whiskey to actually try what moonshine originally tastes like. To be fair, we are not really huge whiskey drinkers.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
This.
Pretty bad one.
Yes.
Oh god. How would they risk jail for that?
Yes, exactly. I think they mainly drank it to stay warm in the winter months. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a little better.
Still.
It's still got a bit of a weird
I'm
taste.
not doing
Yeah.
6 months in jail for that.
All right, no.
Tonight we are actually going to another historical site here in Gore, which is the St. James Theatre. It's set in this grand Art Deco style building, and it's actually been more than 163 days since we've been to the cinema together, so we are having a nice relaxing evening in this actually really cool cinema. It's an awesome way to end our day in Gore.
So, thank you for the moonshine, Laura. It smells like tea, though. Smells better than fucking moonshine.